Welcome to Pigeon Racing World with Winners1. In tonight's program we have some special guests from Belgium which will talk about the PIPA Sydney Auction. We'll also visit a young 16-year-old from Doreen, Victoria, who has shown interest in pigeon racing. In starting up, Jelle Rozier from Belgium will discuss loft flying and preparing birds for the first race. And in Brisbane we have David Christensen. G'day David.
G'day Rod, g'day viewers. Rod, we start tonight's show with a call to Davey Turnell, Jelle Roziers, Tom Van Gaver and Bart Gerrings.
Yes David, we caught the guys having a few beers at Jelle Rozier's place. Now we had some audio problems, so what we did, we got the guys on their mobile, and the audio at times is not that great, but at least you can see they're having fun, and we had a bit of fun about it in the end. I'd like to kick off with Davey. Now Davey, can you tell us about your pigeons results and a little bit about the birds you got in the Sydney auction?
Last year we won the first national Argenton and first national Tull. Also we won the third national Ace KVDB, number 9 national Ace KVDB, number 13 national Ace KVDB. In 2019 we won the first national Isodun. Also we won this year the best of Belgium on 5 national races and on 6 national races. The second best of Belgium on 3 national races. And totally we won 7 national races till last year.
In the year 2000 I bought a pigeon voicer in the club here from Jules Sampermans, and this was the papa of Tiesto that I bought there. Also we raced this pigeon that we bought as voicer, and he won 2 times the first prize on Bourse. Then we bring him to the breeding loft and he bred us famous pigeon Tiesto. In 2005 was born Tiesto. Tiesto was as young bird a very special bird with special character. After 4 or 5 months we put him out the racing loft. We put him in the area for grow out. 1 year later we bring him to our breeding loft, and in 2007 was the first champion born out him, Safira, the 3rd national ace pigeon KVDB middle distance. 2 years later in 2009 we have Torres from him. Torres won the first national Chateauroux. Also his nest brother Tevis won 5 times top 100 national. His other brother Talentino, that's also born in 2009, won 6 times top 100 national, with the 3rd national is top prize on Molusson. After 2010 we see that Tiesto a very good breeder, and we decide, Papa and me, that we have put of the most children directly on the breeding loft. Also in 2012 win the Tiesto family the first national on La Souterraine. In 2015 we won also with the Tiesto family the 2nd national Chateauroux, 3rd national Argenton. In 2017 we played the first time the long distance and we won with the grandchild of Tiesto the number 9 national ace pigeon KVDB. Also grandchild of Torres won the 2nd national on Limoges, and he was number 15 national ace pigeon, KVDB long distance. And now it's 2019 and we are very proud that we have Miss Torres. Miss Torres was our national champion Isodun from 8,000 and more pigeons. Also last year she won the 3rd national Argenton. We see a lot of characteristics from her from Tiesto. Now she goes to the breeding loft. She is our best hen that we ever have, and we trust in her that she gives us a nice future.
Ik ben Patrick Leenaert. Ik sta hier met een kandidaat asduif, halve fond in mijn handen. Deze duif heb ik als grootouders gekregen van Davey Turnell, waar ik zeer goed mee bevriend ben bij de familie Turnell. waar ik zeer veel toch wel goede duiven heb van kunnen verkrijgen. Dus, en waar ik in de toekomst waarschijnlijk nog zeer goed ga mee lukken met deze duiven. Ik bedank daar ook de mensen voor, heel vriendelijk, omdat we zo'n goede samenwerking hebben. Altijd mogen we vragen stellen en kunnen we altijd terecht met hen. Dit is een van de beste duiven die ik ooit in mijn leven gehad heb. Deze duiven staat voor kandidaat nationale asduif kleine halve fond. Ze vliegt in totaal 9 maal de eerste en 49 maal top 100 in haar carrière, met de verdubbelingen inbegrepen.
Yali, can you tell us about your best results?
My best result were the 4 children we have. So that's all I can say. No, the last 5 seasons we've won 16 times top 20 national ace KBDB. 2017 we won first national ace, 2016 second national ace, and in those 5 seasons we were first, second, fourth, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and up like that, 16 times in the top 20 national. We won with young birds also the first national on Bourges. He was the fastest of 59,000 pigeons. That's the main thing the last 5 seasons, those 16 times top 20 national ace birds, and that's for me also the most important.
Just breathe.
Tom, tell us about your results.
The top results from the last years. So we won 3 national races on the long distance, 2 times Beaver and 1 time Yarnock. And then we also won the national championship long distance 2016. My neighbor won 2 years later. And then this year I was second on the long distance. And then we also have some police pigeons every year.
Bart, can you tell us about your success?
Yeah, hello, good evening everyone. Yeah, for me everything starts after in the beginning with the great middle distance. I had the first national ace bird in 2015, and then afterwards I go a little bit more to the long distance. And in 2019 I win the first national championship with the old birds. And then also a few times a provincial ace bird on the long distance, also a national ace bird. That's the most important the last years.
PIPA also has birds in the auction, so we hope to video call them prior to tell us about their pigeons. Yali, can you tell us further about the auction and the grading of the pigeons?
We will have the auction, the Australia PIPA auction. It will be online first for a week on PIPA, and then there will be a live auction on the floor in Sydney. What will happen? a flyer from Sydney, a flyer from Melbourne, and a flyer from South Australia. They will grade the birds, and this will be filmed also by Rod Simmons, by you. So those three good racers, they will come together in Sydney to handle the birds, give them points and everything like they do on PIPA. The birds are now already in Australia for a few months now, so that's already the good part, because it was very difficult with the transport, with the COVID and all those things now that's happening. But that we are on track, and the plan is to do the auction at the end of July or the beginning of August.
Starting with you, Davey, tell us about your birds in the auction.
One full sister of Tiesto Lady, the nest sister raced with Tom the 11 Provincial Ace. 11 Provincial Ace raced with Tom, the nest sister. Yeah. Two children of Taurus, and many more. I just don't know. Also a sister of Miss Taurus, also in the auction of a brother. Just all related to the Tiesto family.
The birds I have in the auction. So the basic of our birds is Queen Anne. She won the first national of Lasso Domain, that's 600k. As a young bird, she was fastest against 19,000 birds. That's the basic hen we have in our loft. In the past, we were co-breeding with the Rubens. That worked out very well for us, and then later on I brought some other families into the breeding loft, and the most recently good outcross is a cockbird of Bart Gerrans, is Whitey Bart, that's the name of that cockbird. That cross with that Queen L Ruben basic is working incredibly good for us. So in the auction I will have a child, a son, of my first national bush, made to my first national ace. And right away that youngster will be line breeding also to the Queen L Basic and the Ruben. I will have a child of 7 with Alena girl. 7 was my best youngster in 2013 on all national races for young birds, 7 national races. That's why he's named 7. He's father to the second national ace KBDB, 7 Junior. Already grandfather to Zico Junior, the 20th national ace this year in 2020, last year. He has several other grandchildren that were talking good also on national level. He was married to Alena Girl, and Alena Girl is a daughter of an original Booba hen. Then I have 2 children of Whitey Bart in the auction with Sheena. Whitey Bart is the original Garens. That's working very well for the moment with my Queen L Ruben basic. Sheena is a hen out of a granddaughter married to Queen L, and she's mother to my 19th national ace KBDB, my 15th national around ace KBDB. And she's already grandmother also to the birds that flew in the top 30 and 50 national. Then I will have a child of Oklahoma with Miss Art. Oklahoma was the second best of Belgium on those 7 national races in 2013. And he is father of the 4th national ace KBDB and grandfather of several birds in the top 100. He was mated then to Miss Art, and Miss Art is line bred to the young artist of Ruben. Miss Art is also original Ruben. Then I will have, what's the other ones? Okay, then I have 2 cockbirds, if I'm correct, out of half brother, half sister mating, and that's back to that Ruben basic, that Tequila Jack mated to Queen L. So the father of those two is the son of Queenel with Tequila Jack, and the mother is also back to Queenel and Tequila Jack. So that's the details that I can give you about the births in the auction.
Yeah, okay. So I have one child of my Finn, paired with the mother of Sweet 16. So Sweet 16 was a 6th national ace bird last year, and this year again very good. In the newest classification on PIPA, he is third and fourth and second on the last 2-3 years best long distance races in Belgium. So a bit my best breeding hen paired with my best breeding cook. That's one. Then I have also a child from Ricky paired with the sister of Finn. And that is, I believe, is a hen. And she's a full sister of the best yearling this year in the long distance on 5 races. So also a nice combination. And then also I got one from a brother of Finn, one of my best breeders as well, and father of 3 national ace pigeons the last 2 years. And that one was paired with a daughter of Charlie, paired with the sister of Little Star, the basic kind of bought. We raced in Papaya this year and one hoofed racing. So it's the mother of my first paired with the father of my second, and then we're both in the 100 first in the final with the ace pigeons. Yeah, and then the others are all grandchildren from the basic pigeons, Ricky and Finn.
In 2017, I made my restart in the pigeon sport, and I decided to build my strain around one specific pigeon, Finn, and also, of course, his parents. So at the total auction in 2017, I was able to buy my Finn back in the auction, as well as the parents, and I told 2 of my best friends, Philippe de Mazeneer and also my brother-in-law, Davy Nering, to buy at the auction the daughters of Finn, because the price would be good, and I thought in the future, when I have my Finn back, they will also be good with the daughters. So they, on my advice, they did it. So they bought it back for like €300 and €400. The one daughter with Philippe de Mazeneer became the mother now in 2020 of the first national ace pigeon, the famous Finman. And the other hen became the best breeding daughter, the best breeding hen of my brother-in-law, Davy Nering. So it was very good, nice story. So my second base pigeon in the loft is Ricky. Ricky is related as well to Finn because the mother and himself are cousins. Ricky was my first national ace pigeon since I raced with the pigeons in 2014, and he was also very successful the years afterwards. So he was 3 years in a row in the top 6 in the PIPA ranking on the long distance races, and he also fly week after week, so 4 seasons in a row. So he did like every year like 8,000 or 9,000 kilometers that he won prize 1 out of 10. I won with him like all the important championships at that time. So yeah, it was really a very good pigeon, and now still in the breeding loft. The most important racer at this time is Little Ricky, and Little Ricky is a direct son of Ricky. Little Ricky was 2nd national ace all round in 2019 and was now 11th national ace in 2020, also all round. It's a pigeon who flew on 2 years time 7 times top 17 national. A really super pigeon, maybe the best I ever had. So another very important pigeon in my loft is Tetske. This hen was super in 2019. She flew 2 times the first provincial and 2 times the fastest of East Flanders, so that is the biggest province of Belgium. So 2 times the fastest of more than 6,500 pigeons. So normally a fancier would not raise his pigeon anymore the year after, but I decided to do it because I was thinking this pigeon can win a first national. So yeah, we take our chance. So we still drop her in the racing team in 2020, and I decided to put her on the first long distance race of the year, Brive. Yeah, at that day we were looking to the pigeons on the computer. We always look at Van den Ede because he is in front of us. So yeah, Van den Ede was superior that day. He got 3 pigeons very early. So and then we have to count. So we counted like 7-8 minutes, and then she was here like 2 minutes later. So she was 6-7 minutes ahead of Van den Ede. So it was the fastest pigeon that day on Brive, and it was, yeah, for me a super result. Yeah, it was like a story came true.
Yeah, g'day guys, Richard Clement from the NCF Federation in Newcastle, flying in partnership with my father Malcolm up here, and just wanted to comment today on a product that we've been using over the last couple of seasons called Protein Plus, which we sourced from Winners1 in Victoria. Protein Plus is a product that we started using in our stock loft as a trial product a couple of years ago. We were interested in how we could ensure that when our youngsters had those last few days in the nest before they went into the race loft, and as they went into the race loft didn't lose any body in condition, and we found that the product was particularly helpful with that, and we were very happy with our first trials. We used it then a little bit more in the stock loft and found that over time our pigeons, particularly as they went into the 3rd and 4th round of breeding, weren't losing body and were still in really good condition at the end of the breeding season, so that was really a positive for us in the first year. Last year we used it in the race loft for the first time. We found it to be a really good product to help put condition back onto the birds and to help the birds build back up a little bit quicker than what they probably previously would have without having to change their feed base too much, particularly early in the week. We've had a pretty successful couple of years up here, winning multiple club and combine and federation averages, and last year particularly was a record-breaking year for us, and we put some of that success down to the fact that we've been able to use this product consistently now, and we'd have no hesitation in recommending it for other flyers who want to try and aid that recovery period, particularly after a hard race or a hard toss.
Yes, for me the most important birds in the auctions is one child of my basic breeder Luc. He won for me the first national Argenton, and he is also a full brother of the mother of my best hen I ever had, is Little Star, the first national ace bird. So this bird I bring is Luc paired with the sister of Little Star. So it's a little bit inbreed to the pair of the father and mother of Luc. So a very nice hen, I guess. Yeah, and then I bring also two brothers from my super yearling. That's one of my best cocks I ever had. He won the first provincial with 40 minutes lead on a race from 740 kilometers. And last year also he flew a 12th national on Limoges from 10,000 birds. It's really a good bird. And there I bring two brothers, I guess, in the auction. And then the others are more also grandchildren from my basic birds, Gladiator, Little Star, Whitcop Sylvester. So all my basic birds are in there.
I want to tell you a little story about my best pigeon, Gladiator, the Olympic pigeon and national ace bird for my loft. It started all with the mother, of course. At that time we raised our hens 2 years, like yearling and 2-year-old birds. In that time we had a few visitors and they came to our loft and they check our pigeons with the loop. They see in the eyes. They picked up all our best pigeons, so we had a little bit trust in them. They told us the mother is a very good pigeon for race but not for breeding.
I say to my father, maybe it's better we raise her one more year, because when we cannot breed something good out of it, it's also a pity we don't raise her anymore. We raised her, but the first race, it was really a disaster race. We lost a few very good birds and also the mother. We have only one good pigeon out of her, and that's our Gladiator. And then as yearling, we raced with Gladiator. He was every time our first pigeon. At a certain point, it was a very nice flight, blue sky, good weather. We have 24 pigeons in race and 20 were home. Only Gladiator came, 21 at home. He has still a little prize behind, but we saw he was going to drink. But such a pigeon, I don't think he will drink on a middle distance race. So we checked him and he was hurt, he was on the wires. It was very bad. But he needs one more prize for the national ace bird and the championship for the Olympics. So we decided to keep him 1 week at home because he was not able the first days to go back in his box. But after 1 week he came better and he trained with our pigeons. In the beginning of the week only 2 minutes. Afterwards he trained at the end of the week normally with our other birds. And now we go to the club and put them for the last flight. And the people in the club, they say, such a pigeon you cannot raise, he is hurt. But my father said, yes, it's just one more time, he need to win one more prize. Yeah, that weekend he won the second prize, so he became Olympic pigeon and national ace bird. It was the first time in our life we had such a good pigeon, and all starts with him. So that's a little bit the story of Gladiator. Now we are 15 years later and Gladiator is still dominating my loft. It's not only in my loft but also in other lofts. There is also Gladiator in the top birds. The few last weeks I heard from the national ace bird from the middle distance yearlings from Guy van der Aura. There is 2 times Gladiator in the pedigree. From the second national ace bird with the old ones. From Allemers also Gladiator inside the pedigree. The 4th national ace bird from PSC, also Gladiator in the pedigree. So that makes me also very proud. The best yearling bird on 3 national flights on the middle distance from Louis van den Ende. Also Gladiator inside. So that are things that say that Gladiator means something, not only for my loft, but also for other lofts. But also in my own loft this year, Gladiator do it very well, the bloodline of him. On Soliac I had the 4 first provincial with the old birds and also the first provincial with the yearlings. And in 4 of them, they are grandchildren of him. So it explained for me a lot that this pigeon is for me my basic pigeon. So I hope we talk in 15 years the same way about Gladiator like we talk now.
Thanks guys, have a good night, and I wish I was there having a beer with you. It's now official, the people who will be grading the pigeons for the auction. It's Stephen Eccleston from Sydney, you got David Weathering from Melbourne, and Greg Hamilton from South Australia.
The Australian Racing Pigeon Journal has been an interesting educational read since 1993, and still a significant way to keep abreast of the sport of pigeon racing. In each exciting monthly magazine, editor Jeff Howe brings together Australian and international articles. Join pigeon fanciers throughout the world who subscribe and enjoy the Australian Racing Pigeon Journal. Loft visits, training tips, pigeon strains, as well as health advice from world-renowned avian veterinarians are regular topics featured in this great read. There is nothing better than keeping a quality magazine on the shelf to read anytime.
Last week, Tony McPherson called in for us to pre-record part of the show. Yeah, Tony McPherson's just popped into the studio. Yeah, Tony, I got contacted on Facebook by Stephen Camp in regards to his 15-year-old son, Jack. Stephen actually used to be involved with pigeons, and Jack has now got that interest himself.
Yes, Rod, what we've done is we've gathered some birds for the young fella from Robbie Taylor, yourself and myself, and at a later stage we'll drop them into the young bloke to have a crack at rearing up some babies and possibly coming into the pigeon world.
Yeah, it's a really good incentive from yourself and Robbie to gather some birds together. They're youngsters, so that's good. He could be able to break them in, and he wants to start tossing and train them and learn the sport. But this isn't the first time that you've really given a lot of birds away, Tony. You've been very generous over the time.
Yes, Rod, I've been fortunate, I suppose. I went out and bought birds, and then I thought I'd like to share them and with other people, and mainly I was doing fundraising for kids with cancer, Canteen, and also breast cancer. As you know, my partner had breast cancer, and so I thought I would donate birds and give the money to breast cancer. Also Legacy over in WA through George's R, the Bustleton Pigeon Club. They were wanting to raise money for their club, and so every year I send a team of babies over there. And look, there's I just like to share the birds and see how they go, and I'm more than happy to help young people along. We were all young ourselves, and I think we all would have really loved to have had that hand along and things like that. So it's no skin off my nose, to be quite honest, and I'm quite happy to help people out.
Well, I must admit, Tony, I would say I don't know anyone that's given more birds away over the years and been as generous as yourself. So, I know on behalf of those people, and I really think, it's been a great effort, and, good on you, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Rod. It's very humbling, actually. I get great enjoyment out of people giving me phone calls, say that the birds have done well, and there's one up in Bustleton now they call the GOAT, the greatest of all time, I've sent some stock birds up to Bustleton to a cockbird to put to the GOAT, so that hopefully it can continue the saga that's began up there, and I'm more than happy to share birds around.
Yeah, so what we're about to do in a minute, we're going to pop down and go see Steve and his son Jack. We've got 6 pigeons there to give to him, a basket, and hopefully he can break them in, learn it, have some fun, and you never know where it goes. And so Jack will be down at your place very soon.
Must be Jack.
Yep.
I'm Tony. How are you? And
Hey, Steve.
g'day, Steve. Nice to meet you.
Rod, how are
nice
you?
to meet you.
Steve, how are you going?
How
are you?
We got some lovely babies here for you.
Oh, thank you.
So there you go, brother.
Thank you very much. Hello.
So there's some birds from myself, Robbie Taylor, and from Rod. So we'll
And the basket's a gift from us as well.
Oh, thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
Now you're going to show us your loft?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Some tricks here, Jack.
Yep, just to get some fresh eggs.
Yep. They're laying well?
Yeah, they are pretty good in this heat now, but I don't think they will when it gets later into the later months.
Yep.
So this is it here.
Okay.
It has been cleaned as best as we could without them messing it up. It has a few bars for them and a few little loaves in there. We are getting a
purchase. Yeah.
We're getting a chicken coop delivered this week, but we don't know which exact day.
Okay. Yep. Okay, Jack, this is a nice little checker youngster from Robbie Taylor.
Okay.
Now I want you to put that hand out there.
Yeah.
We'll plonk that in there and hold it there. And you hold his feet will go back. There you go.
Hello.
All right.
So he's young, but he's still old enough to eat on his own. So
Okay, then.
next
That's
week
good.
he'll get better and better. You just go watch him. Dad will show you too. If he looks like he's not drinking, I will start to blink and get glazy. You just got to put its head in the water to have a drink.
Show him where the water is.
Yeah.
All right then.
Because they won't know where the water is, and they've all had different ways of drinking because they come from different lofts. So they're going into a new loft.
Yep.
So you just have to show them how to have a drink.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just
What you got to be careful, like with your chooks, to be careful of foxes.
Yeah.
And at the moment they're not getting let out, but once you start letting them out, you can't help the gossies and that. But they'll get smart. They'll know to come back in.
Okay.
And you have to work out a way to call them in, either by shaking a tin with feed, or using a whistle or something like that. So they learn, and every time you go to feed them, at the moment, and I'd be feeding them because they're young, a couple of times a day, in the morning, before school, after school. I suggest you to just shake the tin if you're using a tin, so they know when they hear that it's food time.
Okay then.
Yep. All right. Cool. So you can grab them all and put them all in.
All right then. It's okay.
These ones you might have to hang on to a little bit tighter. That's it. Hello.
No, it's okay.
And they're at different stages there too, Jack. So some are able to fly around a bit.
Okay then.
Most of them haven't left mum and dad, but they're old enough to fend for themselves.
It's okay.
A nice little checker.
Hello. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down. It's okay.
Yep, you'll be right. They'll work themselves out.
Oops. Come on. It's okay. Good girl. Here. Hello.
So when you feed them, Jack, right, just put the food container just near the water, so they'll come down, they'll eat the food, and then the water's right there. They'll learn how to drink pretty well straight away.
All right then.
And that'll work out really well for you. And at a later stage, we can organise a trap. Bobs or whatever. Depending on how you want them to trap in. What I've got at home is a square box.
Oh, okay then.
I've got the landing board out here. I've got a square box inside, and at the end of the square box is my bobs.
Yep.
And what I do is I lift the bobs up, it's in a frame, the bobs go up, the birds go out the box.
Yep.
And they go in the box. So they're used to going in and out of the one
place.
Yeah, the one place, and then they're not confused.
Mm-hmm.
Some people let them out the door, but then they expect them to go back in the bobs. So, keep it simple.
All right then.
Yeah, your pigeons, they're pretty hardy.
Yeah, they are.
They're
from
hardy,
what I've seen.
And they've settled. They're pretty settled. And look, so yeah, look, I think you're very lucky there. There's some lovely birds there.
Yeah, they are pretty
and
good.
I think they'll make you some good breeders, actually.
Maybe.
Some very good breeders.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
thanks, Jack.
No worries.
Now, I'm sure Dad's going to be able to guide you on what to do anyway, but on our show, Pigeon Racing World Winners 1, in starting up, we have a program this year which shows the basics of pigeon racing. Have a look at that, look from the first to the last, and mate, I'm sure you'll make a good flyer.
Cool.
All right, thanks a lot, Jack.
No worries.
Thanks, buddy.
And thanks, Steve.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
No worries.
I want to tell you a little story about my best pigeon, Gladiator, the Olympic pigeon and national ace bird for my loft. Yeah, that weekend he won the second prize, so he became Olympic pigeon and national ace bird.
In the year 2000 I bought a pigeon voicer in the club here from Jules Sampermans, and this was the papa of Tiesto that I bought there. Also we raised this pigeon that we bought as voicer, and he won 2 times the first prize on Bourse. Then we bring him to the breeding loft and he bred us famous pigeon Tiesto.
In 2017, I made my restart in the pigeon sport, and I decided to build my strain around one specific pigeon, Finn, and also, of course, his parents. So my second base pigeon in the loft is Ricky. Ricky is related as well to Finn because the mother and himself are cousins. Ricky was my first national ace pigeon since I raced with the pigeons in 2014, and he was also very successful the years afterwards, so he was 3 years in a row in the top 6 in the PIPA ranking on the long distance races.
I started with my own birds in a small loft in 1995. It was a loft by 2 by 2 only. I lived with my mother. It was for me also easy to get into the sport in a short period. Good pigeons also, because we were related to several guys who flew on a high level. The most famous name was, of course, the Huben family. 2004, Queen Elle, our basic hen, she won first national on La Souterraine. Was about 600 kilometers. She was fastest against 19,000 pigeons, all birds and young birds together.
Ik ben Nicolas Gijzelbrecht en ben gestart met PIPA in 2000 als nieuwswebsite. En in 2008 ben ik dan begonnen in het klein met PIPA Elite Center. Dat was met een koppeltje duiven en dat één koppeltje zijn dan meerdere koppels geworden. En in de loop van de jaren zijn we zo wel geëvolueerd. Beslist hebben met ons 3 dat een duif maar verkocht mag worden als wij vinden dat die goed genoeg is voor onszelf, voor de eigen kweek.
when I wean my young birds, they will have an age of 25 to 26 days. Then they go to the race loft. There they get the breeding mixture in the morning and the afternoon. The first 2, 3, 4 days, it's always with them. As soon as I see all birds are eating good and drinking good, then I will take the feed away during the day, and then I start on the schedule in the morning feeding and in the afternoon. Because we use the darkening system, as soon as I wean the young birds, they go into the darkening system. After you wean the birds, 10 days to 12 days later, they start the body mold. This will be for between 4 to 6 weeks, let's say. During that period, they always get the breeding mixture. I also try to keep teams together. So let's say I have a first round. They are weaned in a period of 5, 6 days, 7 days. They all stick together. As soon as the youngsters of that team is 6 weeks, they get the first PMV shot, and I will repeat the PMV after 4 to 5 weeks. Then when I wean my second round, and they are at the age of 6 weeks, they get their first PMV, and then I will pox all my birds. Also the first and the second round will be poxed. So in the past, I did the first round already, and then the second round. Now then, some of the first round came in between the second round, and then pox started with the second round pigeons, and that I tried to avoid by doing all the birds on the same time for pox. And the second round will also get the second PMV shot after 4 to 5 weeks, let's say, after the first PMV shot. Loft flying, as soon as the birds, at the end of the body mold, you see they start shining in the neck and they start to look like older birds. I will put them on a light mix, and then step by step they will start flying. As soon as I see, let's say, 50 to 70% of the pigeons will go up by themselves, I will chase the others in the sky also, and they have to start off flying. And in the beginning, if they don't want to fly the group that was still sitting down, you build it up with 5 minutes a day or something. But you do step by step and slowly. It will show itself how good it will go, and it will go easy also. Don't worry. It's not that you have to put your time and the clock and everything on it. It will come. Don't worry. They will start flying, those pigeons. But then as soon as they start flying, let's say 45 to 60 minutes, that's good. And you will have birds that fly an hour to an hour and a half or whatever. But as soon as the group starts to go away and you don't see them for 20, 30, 40 minutes, and they do it for a week or 10 days, then I start on the road. And normally over here, that will be the end of May for us. I weaned my first round at the end of February. I will wean my second round now at the end of March. 1st of April, the last babies will be weaned of the second round. And the last week of May, I will go on the road with all my birds normally. I go to a 3K station. I release all the group all together. The day after, I split it in half. But I do it always in the afternoon in the beginning, and I release the birds in the morning around the loft. They can loft fly. They come in, they eat some minerals, they drink. 2 hours later, I will crate them, and then I go to the 3-kilometer station. And I will stay 6-8 times at the 3-kilometer station, and each time I will have the group. So I divide it by 2, and then till I have baskets of 10 to 12 pigeons, and those I release. And then I double the distance. And I stay 2 times over there, I double again, and I go till 35-kilometer maximum. Because we have to cross the city of Brussels, And during the week in the past, I saw in my loft and in other lofts a lot of problems with losing young birds because they have to cross the city. But I stay just before the city, and then they go on Sunday, the first time 100 kilometer with the club, and then it's always going smooth. That then we don't have a lot of problems or anything. So, but I will go, let's say 20, 25 times on the road till 35 kilometer, and then after a while, I'm releasing pigeons 3 at a time. And then you see when they go straight home, and you see when they leave the place right away, and even the weather can be a little bit dark or whatever. The birds get used to it, they go home. And I think it's better to stay several times at a short distance and make the team smaller so they learn more and they build up the confidence for themselves in releasing, going home, finding that loft. And it's not necessary to go to 60, 70, 80 kilometer before you go to the first 100 kilometer. I didn't do it in the past, and I will never do it again because it's easy for me like this. So after the PMV shots and the pox, that's all they get from vaccine. So nothing else, because now you can buy adeno, herpes, several rotavirus you can buy also over here. They have several new vaccines, but I only stick to the PMV and the pox, because PMV and pox are two proven vaccines. I hear good news from people over here with the rota vaccine also, but I have no problems till now, so I will not do it. Maybe I will change my mind in the future, but what I heard from Henk de Weert was that even the PMV vaccine will help you when they are struggling with some rota or whatever. So if you see birds going down or getting sick, it's good to give them a PMV shot and they will recover faster, so you boost the immune system. That's what we see over here. So, but I would not do too many things together. They will select themselves also, those young birds, and it's also nature that will decide if they are strong or not strong. The young birds they get no medication in the beginning. We wean them and they stick on probiotics and some natural products that you like, apple cider vinegar, some garlic, doesn't matter. As long as you don't harm the gut too much, I think there is no problem. And then if we have a sick one or a weak one or a pigeon that don't want to eat, we take it out of the team, and I think that's the only solution to make your team stronger and keep it healthy. So in the beginning, like I said, the breeding mixture, and then after a while, the light mix. What we do also, I put every day almost omega oil on the feed when they get the breeding mixture. I do it in the morning, just a little bit on it, let's say a teaspoon per 2 kilogram or something. So they get the oil a little bit in the body while they are doing the body molt. Otherwise, respiratory I don't treat for the young birds before the season. During the national races, it's possible that I do it. Then I stick to the doxycycline. Last season I did it 3 days, that's it. When I see one-eye cold with the youngsters, I just let them struggle with the problem and they have to deal with it by themselves. If I have a youngster that's still fighting with the one-eye cold or the fat eye or whatever, how they call it, after a week I will take the pigeon out of the team. I think that's the best. The number you win and the number always has to go down. then you come to your small, strong team that's healthy and can handle a lot. And I think in the long run, you only get stronger out of that. During the races, in the past, I was road training a lot. The last 2-3 years, I'm road training less, but the birds can go here also week after week. To a certain period, they do 8 races in a row, or 9 or 10, I think, of 300 kilometer till 600 kilometer. I know in Australia, you guys have a season of 20 something weeks. That's also a hard season and a tough schedule. So I don't think when you go every week with the same pigeon, it's not that necessary anymore to go on the road 3-4 times a week or whatever. So I go once a week or twice a week, but last year it was only once a week on Wednesday, because with the COVID, I had the kids a lot, and it was not easy to go on the road, of course. We have several little ones over here running around, so and then I went on Wednesday or Thursday, depend on the day of shipping. So if we shipped on Friday, I went on Wednesday on the road. If we shipped on Saturday, I went on Thursday, like that. So let's say 2 days before the day of shipping, I went on the road. And the other days, it was just loft flying around the loft twice a day. So my advice is to do the main things that are necessary, PMV, and pucks those birds. Don't mess around too much with those youngsters. Let them be young birds also. If you see some birds fighting with things, having problems, don't let them sit for 2 weeks or whatever. They will never make it. If you don't like the pigeon, you will never like it. So keep it simple and let the bird select themselves. I think that's the best advice I can give you. And I hope it will help you also.
Yali mentions about vaccinating pigeons. In a later episode, Dr. Colin Walker will discuss further about the vaccines, the different types and time periods when they should be given. But what we'll demonstrate is how you do vaccinate a bird. But you might find it's easier initially to have someone to hold the pigeon. What I've found over the time, it's just as easy to do it on your own. What I do is I put the pigeon between my legs like so, facing the head up towards you. Then we get the gun and we insert it, not this way, it's got to go across this way, inside, and then like that. Some people like to pull the skin up a bit, but you do not go right in, you just go into this on the side and straight in. So that's how you vaccinate a pigeon. Thanks for watching tonight's show, and good night, David.
It's good night from me. If you've missed any of our previous shows, you can go to the YouTube channel or to the Facebook sites of Winners1 or the North Road Combine, or to the Winners1 website. If you have not already, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like buttons and ring the little bell. Programs every week for the next 12 weeks.